Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of No Huddle with Zach Arndt. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Arkansas Razorbacks and giving a preview for this upcoming 2022 college football season. Led by head coach Sam Pittman, offensive coordinator Kendall Briles, defensive coordinator Barry Odom. They have some key players returning, quarterback KJ Jefferson, aka Cam Newton Jr. Jefferson last year had a 67.3 completion rate and a touchdown to interception ratio of 21-4. Linebacker Bumper Poole, one of the best linebackers in the country, had 125 tackles last year, which was 10th in college football. He has a chance to break Arkansas's career tackle record this season. Safety Jalen Catalon, perhaps the best safety at Arkansas. Catalon played hurt half the season last year before having surgery. Arkansas also had some huge losses. They lost wide receiver Traylon Burks, who went over 1,100 yards and had 11 touchdowns last year. He was probably their biggest playmaker on offense last season. They also lost Monteric Brown, corner who was tied for the SEC lead with 5 interceptions. They also lost one of the best run stoppers in the SEC last season, and John Ridgway, defensive tackle. Looking at Arkansas's 2022 recruiting class, it's headlined by 3 4-star offensive linemen, and Andrew Chambly, and Marion Harris, and Patrick Kudus. They also have a duo of Isaiah Sategna and Quincy McAdoo at wide receiver, followed by a very talented athlete in Rashad Dubinin out of Ellenwood, Georgia. In 2021, Arkansas went 9-4 with a 4-4 record in the SEC. They started out 4-0 and then lost 3 in a row to Georgia, Ole Miss, and Auburn. Then won 3 in a row, including a win at LSU. They lost to Alabama just by 7 points, and then they won the Outback Bowl against Penn State 24-10. Looking ahead to this season, I have them going 9-3, and their schedule looks like this. They have a game against Cincinnati to open up the season, South Carolina, Missouri State, neutral site game against A&M, Alabama, Mississippi State on the road, at BYU, at Auburn, Liberty at home, LSU at home, Ole Miss at home, and then at Missouri. Looking at the schedule, I have Arkansas going 9-3 with the possibility of going 8-4. Opening up the year against Cincinnati, I have them winning that game, along with a win against South Carolina and a win against Missouri State. Then they have their annual neutral site game against A&M in Arlington, Texas. I have them winning that game in a really close one. Alabama comes to town. I think they're going to lose that game, but then bounce back with a win against Mississippi State. They travel to BYU. They play at BYU this year, and I think they're going to lose that game. Bounce back with a win at Auburn. I think they'll win against Liberty and LSU. I think they'll trip up against Ole Miss and then finish off the year with a W against Missouri. And that does put them at 9-3. The reason I said 8-4 is that game against A&M, that could go either way. Last year it was a really good game, really low scoring. I think A&M will be better on offense this year. Obviously A&M's D-line is very tough, and Arkansas's got a very solid offensive line as well. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. I just think KJ Jefferson is going to be able to make plays this year, be a dynamic playmaker for the offense. Last year, especially that game against Georgia, I remember watching that. They really struggled to move the ball and have dynamic plays. I mean, a lot of teams did against Georgia last year. But KJ Jefferson showed some glimpses that he can carry the offense throughout the year last year. And that's part of the reason I said Cam Newton Jr. When stuff breaks down around him, he has the ability to get out of the pocket, make plays with his legs, and he's very hard to tackle. Taking a look at their depth chart, they bring in 3 new receivers, including transfer Jaden Hasselwood from Oklahoma. High-impact guy instantly, in my opinion. They bring back 4-star linemen Brady Latham, Ricky Stromberg, Bo Limmer, and Dalton Wagner. Very solid offensive line. That's Sam Pittman's strong suit. He was the offensive line coach under Kirby Smart at Georgia for several years. Quarterback KJ Jefferson, as previously mentioned. They bring in a new tight end, Trey Knox, who's a senior. Raheem Sanders and Dominique Johnson will probably do running back by committee this year. I don't see one guy really getting the majority of the carries. Shifting over to defense, a lot of new faces in the front 7. Eric Gregory, Isaiah Nichols, Torian Carter, and then Zach Williams on the D-line. Bumper Poole at linebacker. And then this is a big one. Transfer Drew Sanders from Alabama, the former 5-star athlete. You're probably wondering, if Drew Sanders is so good, why did he transfer? Well, at Alabama, a guy named Dallas Turner took his spot. Now, if I was Drew Sanders, I would have transferred as well, because heading into 2022, there was no way he was going to get the starting job over Dallas Turner, who might be the second best edge rusher in college football this year. Who knows? But Drew Sanders is going to be a high-impact guy instantly for Arkansas. And then you got Hudson Clark, Dwight McLaughlin, and Ladarius Bishop in the secondary, along with Miles Slusher, Jalen Catalon, and Simeon Blair, who form a trio of guys returning in the back end. To wrap things up, I'm going to read off some stats and rankings for the team last year. Starting out with field position, they ranked 84th on offense, 61st on defense. Offensive efficiency, 42nd. Defensive efficiency, 47th. They were 25th in offensive explosive plays and 26th with finishing drives on offense. They had the 32nd ranked turnover margin with +5. Scoring, they averaged 31 points per game, which was 48th nationally. They had the 7th ranked rushing offense at 230 yards per game, 85th passing offense at 213 yards per game, and the 27th ranked total offense at 440 yards per game. Then on defense, they had the 39th ranked scoring defense at 22.9 points per game, 69th ranked rushing offense at 153.5 yards per game, 41st ranked passing offense at 214 yards per game, and then total defense was 367.7 yards per game, which was good for 50th ranked nationally. This is an Arkansas team who had a lot of close games in 2021. They battled them out, and they actually won a majority of them, and it looks like they're going to continue to do that under new head coach Sam Pittman going forward. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you all have a great day. I'll catch you in the next one.